What's going on, guys? Sorry, I just got off a call just now for my clients. But yeah, just want to wish you guys a happy Sunday so far. Let me zoom this out. It's a little close right now. But welcome to my live stream. This is where I kind of break down pretty much my week and talk to you guys and just get to know you. Just get to see what's going on. As for cool things I've been doing recently, I actually finished reading this really cool book. It's called Getting Things Done by David Allen. Really, really great book. Highly recommend if you are, into consulting or anything like that. Really, really great book. While I wait for people to kind of join the stream, just want to tell you kind of about my week so far. It's been pretty freaking hectic. I've been honestly putting off my taxes for the longest time. I've had everything kind of organized and whatnot, and I kind of want to share some, if you guys are open to it, I kind of want to share some quick tax stuff that I've been going through recently as well, right? Especially as an entrepreneur, because a lot of people it was really funny. Someone really close to me asked me, "Hey, Kevin, are you gonna get money back for taxes?" And actually, for employees, it's totally different, right? As employees, your employer actually withholds your taxes, but as an entrepreneur, you have to actually pay taxes, and we have to pay quarterly taxes too if we make a profit as well. So a lot of people don't see that difference. And one of the tools I've been really using recently has been QuickBooks self-employed app. Really great app. I love it so far. You can literally just snap photos of your receipts and all that, and it's just really easy, all in one place type of thing. So I've been using that tool a lot for my taxes and stuff. Let's play some freaking Lakey inspired in the background too. Hold on, I'm gonna play some music and see if I can figure this out as well. But obviously I can't do any of that 21 Savage type of music, but I think it'd be kind of cool to have music in the background. But for those that are watching this, if you're most of the people are probably at Coachella or something like that, let me know in the comments, man. How are you guys doing this week? Tell me about what's going on with you guys. Would really kind of love to see what you guys are up to right now. Let me just open this really quickly. Let's open up some music, baby. Yeah, and honestly, I've just been having a pretty kick-ass week in general. Business-wise, it's been really good. I've been getting really good at my current client right now. And let's try to play this, see if this works. Yep, it does. Let's kind of kill the sound a little bit, and let's add some audio, baby. Can I do it? Maybe I can't add audio to this. Oh well, whatever. You guys just get the voice of me right now. Anyways, Ying Jin says, I know nothing about taxes. Actually, you know what? A really good. So if I were to give some book recommendations about taxes, hold on for a second. Yeah. There's a few books that I recommend. Thank you for hitting that like button, by the way. But there are a few books that I really recommend for financial literacy. At least if you're an entrepreneur, right? You don't have to know too much about taxes and all that. If you're a W-2 employee, honestly, it's pretty straightforward. And keep in mind, I'm not a tax expert. I'm pretty new at this. I've just been learning just through books and through my different entrepreneur friends. And that's something that's really cool about the entrepreneur world, is that people are so willing to help each other out, right? And give all these tax and not tax advice, but give all these quick tips and stuff. So one great book, it's a classic book. Everybody should read this, and everybody should read something like Cash Flow Quadrant. But this is Rich Dad Poor Dad, absolute must read for anyone who wants to kind of understand the taxes and how they work. There's a really, really old book. Dude, I can't believe it's like, what? This was 1997, I believe. When was this published? Let's see. 1997. Yes, this was posted in 1997, and it's still a really, really great book to this day. He also has this book called Cash Flow Quadrant, which goes over his, like, if you type in Rich Dad Poor Dad, like, I'm going to bring it up right now. Our Rich Dad Poor Dad Cash Flow Quadrant, and maybe I'll put the link, my links below, so you can purchase them later. But if you go to images, and I'm going to show my screen in a second, you'll see this whole EBSI, and he just like breaks it down about each quadrant, right? So right now I'm probably hovering in between, like, here right now, SMB, right? I don't have it LLC at this point, not this moment, because honestly I want to keep things very simple for now, so that's why. But anyways, I just thought that was really cool. That's a great book for learning about kind of like entrepreneurial taxes and stuff, like at least the basics. And then another book that I've been really reading, it's called Profit First. Really great book by Mike Malowitz. Really, really great book about like how much do you allocate toward profit, right? And he has this whole concept of profiting first, rather than, a lot of entrepreneurs, including myself when I first started, it's just like, oh, you just buy everything under the sun and just take a loss. But he teaches you how to actually profit first, prioritize taking 2% profit, and then organizing your whole everything else. He has these different buckets between like operation expenses and all that as well. So, and take home and all that. So you basically put your whole financial plan around that. Thank you for the likes, by the way. Really appreciate it. Also, I've been reading oh, yep. And fuck. I thought I had Cash Flow Quadrant. I can't find it. I have way too many books, man. And it always bugs me when like I don't prepare ahead of time and I'm just like scrambling to grab books and find them on my bookshelf. But those two books are really, really great for taxes and stuff if you're just trying to learn basic entrepreneurial taxes. Sunny says, hey, hi Kevin, if there's any hey Kevin, if you or your team / clients ever need help with taxes or other accounting needs, let me know. Dude, thank you, Sunny. How do I message me on like Instagram and let me know how I can reach you, man, and we can talk more about like what you do and stuff like that. That's awesome. Love this community, guys. Yeah, so that's what I've been kind of doing recently. I've been like doing my taxes and kind of like making sure that I have efficient systems in place, because here's the thing, a lot of people don't realize being an entrepreneur or a business owner and doing your own taxes actually takes you away from the business, and it's actually quite confusing. No one really sits down and talks about it with you, and it's not like the IRS. Like, yes, they have their website, but it's not like cut and dry. I can see a lot of people getting into a lot of like tax issues because it's our tax system is pretty complicated. Like, what can you write off, what can't you? And here's the thing, like, things are always changing, right, too. So what can you take a deduction from? What kind of documentation do you need? It's very interesting, and trying to switch to that. You definitely have to be organized. I definitely see like a lot of like business owners who don't have that level of organization or study or anything like that. So just been kind of busy transitioning over to that, because I did start making money, like real money, as an entrepreneur this year. So which was really cool. I guess I try to look at, I'm not gonna lie, there was a point where I was just like, this is so fucking bullshit. Like, I fucking hate this shit. Like I totally felt that way. But then I just took a step back and I was just like, you know what, Kevin, this is actually a really good problem to have. It means that you're growing. And I always try to remember that in the back of my head. As much as I fucking hate taxes sometimes, like it doesn't feel that bad. How much % of your paycheck goes to tax where a pharmacist, like how much many percent can you take home after tax, insurance, 401k? Well, see, that's the thing. There's like a lot of factors that you just mentioned in there, right? Because here's the thing: we have federal tax, right? Right. So we get taxed federally, and then we get taxed at state level too, and then we have like certain withholdings too, like paying into Social Security that us millennials will never ever see it ever, right? So we have that. We have like you might have some state programs too, so there are certain withholdings. What I like to do is honestly, when I was a pharmacist, and keep your 401k out of that. That's something like more investing related. But when I thought about take home and stuff, a lot of the time I would just I would just allocate like 40% out of my paycheck total withholding. That includes the withholdings, that includes the tax. And that's one thing I fucked up in my first video when I was doing reality versus expectations, how much we got taxed and stuff, right? And there are strategies to kind of like reduce that tax burden as well, right? Because you are considered a high income earner at that point, right? So you definitely have to have some sort of strategies in place. But as a disclaimer, talk to your accountant or whatever. So but yeah, and like that, and you're right, like things like a 401k that kind of protects your money, at least kind of defers the tax later down the line. Like basically all that money that you put in your 401k is tax later. That's how I like to think of it. I like to think of it as 3 buckets, right? And I break this down in my investing course, right? Or investing masterclass, kickassinvesting.com. Go check it out. I don't think it's actually don't check it out yet, because honestly not everything's built out yet, but I did a shameless plug into something that's not complete, but whatever. Sign up for it, check it out. Most of it should be up already, but I like to throw my money into 3 buckets, like, and this is how pretty much every tax advantage account works. It's either tax now, tax later, or tax in now, and that's how I like to think of it. So tax later is something like your 401k, where they're not going to tax you now, but so you can take that money and invest into a 401k or traditional IRA, just throw it in there and it'll grow over time. And then when you do need the money, that's when they'll tax you. They'll tax you later, right? But things like a Roth IRA is more tax now, meaning like you use your paycheck dollars. So like you get all like after what you see on your paycheck, you're using that money to invest. And then when you need at retirement, you can just take it out because you already been taxed on it. You don't get taxed on it again. And there's caveats to that. I can like go on for this forever, man. If it's really boring, I really don't want to talk about it. But if you guys are curious about 401ks, Roth IRAs, let me know. I can even do a separate stream on it because I think it's really, really important, right? Let's see. Our AZ asks, are relationships / hookups common within pharmacies since you spend more time together than with friends and family? That is a really, 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 really cool question that I'm actually going to send to my manager on YouTube. But yeah, actually, what, surprisingly, it is quite common. People won't talk about it because you're going to get in trouble. Let's put it like this. I've known a few pharmacists that have like kind of hooked up with their technician or something like that. Like it does happen, and I think it happens in every single like industry, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. Corporate will tell you like don't do it, be professional and all that sort of stuff, but at the same time I understand where these pharmacists are going, right? They're spending so much time like away from their family. Maybe they don't have a good friends if you're like working in the middle of nowhere, and you spend so much time with these people that kind of pour out their blood, sweat, and years with you, right? And so hookups definitely absolutely happen. They happen in every single workplace. And I think Joe Rogan really talks about like kind of like the workplace and stuff, and how like I don't know, kind of unrealistic it is like to expect people not to like hook up or something when they're in confined places. But typically you're not supposed to, but it definitely does happen if that makes sense, right? Diana Lamb says, You inspire me to quit my job as a retail pharmacist. It's getting pretty bad. Keep up the good work. Diana, I would love to hear more about what you're doing. Feel free to reach out to me too, man. That's really, really great. I'm so happy. Dude, it is one of my major goals to really make sure that to help 100 pharmacists, 100 pharmacists, to free 100 pharmacists from pharmacy by the end of, I don't know, maybe this year or something. But one down, awesome. If you guys quit pharmacy, let me know. Send me like a DM or something so I can like put it in my tally, because it is really like, it's something that really means a lot to me that, hey, you know what, I really want to give the option to people. Maybe I should set 2 goals, man. Maybe help 100 pharmacy students into pharmacy and help 100 pharmacists out of pharmacy. So I don't know. I think that'd be really, really cool. But thank you, Diana. Really appreciate it. Actually just screenshotted your comment too. Love it. I don't think pharmacists can go 1099 because they have set hourly schedule. With 1099, at least you have a boatload of deductions you can take. Well, you know, it's pretty interesting. Actually, there was like a few years ago, and I don't know if this is still the case, but you can be an independent contractor as a pharmacist. Absolutely. And I mean, as an independent contractor, you get a lot of benefits. I mean, they can't treat you like an employee. You can just stand up and just be like, no, right? Like, but they might terminate your contract, but they can't technically fire you. From a business point of view, it's kind of good having independent contractors, because the thing is, you don't have to pay for benefits. It's a win-win actually on both people's parties. And yes, you can write off like a lot of different things, like pretend like this, right? I'm an independent contractor. And if you don't know what an independent contractor is, it's kind of like you're almost like your own, I'm probably like, for any accountants that are watching this and they're fucking cringing, I'm really sorry, right? I might have fucked this up, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but you can pretty much be your own business as a pharmacist, right? So for example, like you can write off things like if you go to APHA meetup or something like that, or like one of these like Meteor type of things, you can write that, you can pay for your ticket and use that as a business, as a write-off, right? Or you can use like all the, like, let's say if you're traveling to you live in Boston and you go to California for Meteor or something like that, you can write your travel expenses off, right? You can write off your meals there too. You can do all those sort of things, because that is kind of like I forget which category it goes under, but it's almost like professional services or something, professional like fees and stuff, or networking, or I don't know. I probably butchered that, but you get the point, right? You can use things that you normally use in everyday life, you can actually like, that you would have probably done anyways as an employee, you can actually write off as a 1099, which is awesome as an independent contractor. I like being an independent contractor a lot more. It requires you to be a lot more responsible, honestly, because you got to keep track of your receipts and all that sort of stuff. And I wish somebody kind of taught me that before I went down this 1099 like self-employed business owner type of route, right? Sole proprietor. But you can definitely go 1099 as a pharmacist. Actually, that's how a lot of I'll be honest, that's how a lot of these staffing relief places work out, is that they will hire you as an independent contractor, and that's why you don't get benefits or anything like that, right? They'll hire you as an independent contractor to fulfill a specific need, and it's really nice. I just sent you an email. Let me know if you need tax/accounting help anytime. Thanks, Sunny. Really appreciate it. As you can see, I'm not like a super professional when it comes to accounting and stuff. You're correct with your your explanation of an independent contractor. I know it's pretty rough, man, but I have like a general sense. And that's the thing, right? As I keep on expanding and stuff, I'm really looking to kind of go more hands off of all this sort of stuff too, man. I think it's really important for every single entrepreneur to know, because when you like, it's really important to know, like, no one really teaches you. And I think like right now is like the best time. And guys, if you want me to talk more about kind of, or even better, like if I can get someone who's an expert like Sunny on my channel and stuff and really talk about, hey, what is everything that we need to know for kind of like taxes and stuff like that on a very general level, on for educational purposes, right? Like what is everything we need to know? I think that would be really, really cool, you know, and just really promoting this, because one thing I realize is that a lot of time we don't really have a lot of financial literacy, and everything that I've had to, like everything I've learned has either been through friends, mentors, books, a lot of reading, a lot of articles. And guess what? No, it's really complicated about all this tax stuff. Things change all the time, right? Things are always changing and it's always in motion. It's not like once you know this one thing, then it's set for life. Rules, taxes, and all that sort of stuff changes over time. So you need to stay updated. But how do you know if that information that you read like last year is still updated for this year, right? And so that's where kind of the headache as an entrepreneur comes with like the whole tax stuff, man. It gets really, really overwhelming for a lot of us. We don't know if we're doing things right. And that's why we rely on experts like CPAs and stuff to really help us navigate this route, or use tools like, I don't know, QuickBooks, like self-employed app, you know, like literally I asked my friend, and I was just like, hey, how do you manage all your tax stuff? Because I literally have like a shoebox of all my receipts. I don't know what the fuck to do with them, right? Like that's literally how I was managing them. And I was like, there has to be a freaking better way. I was doing it on a Google Forms and stuff like that, or not Google Forms, but like a pretty much Excel sheet and shit. And it wasn't effective. And this is if I could share that journey with you guys of how I'm teaching myself and learning, let me know if it's really helpful for you guys. Cool. Got to know the loopholes. And I think that's where a CPA can really save you a lot of money, because they know a lot of the loopholes, right? I think part of it too is just like also making sure that like my friend was, I literally had lunch with one of my really good friends today. Actually, they're married. And hold on. Goddamn. Hold on. Sorry. Oh my God. Anyways, they were saying that they owed almost like 10K in taxes with all the businesses and stuff. And by having a CPA on board, they actually ended up getting a refund, because she's also a W-2 employee, right? And she runs her own Instagram like business. She gets brand deals and all that. So she gets brand deals and all sorts of stuff like that too. Kind of Hagao says, kind of sad that most of us don't really learn about personal finance until we have a 6-figure college debt. Exactly. And that's why I tell people like, hey, maybe the right strategy isn't paying down your student loans as quickly as possible. Yes, that is one strategy. Maybe the other strategy is to really invest into the market, or invest into different business vehicles that have a higher return. Like the rate of return is a lot higher than your interest rate, right? People don't teach you that shit. I was very fortunate to have like, hey, my uncle, he knew all this sort of stuff. He's actually, I'm not sure if he was an accountant or a CPA, but he definitely did auditing and stuff. So he broke down all the technical things for me when I was a kid. So I'm better. It's like learning a language when you're very young. You might forget some things over the years, but when you go back to it, you can just navigate it very fluidly. And for me, like I understand, like when I read articles, I like, oh, okay, I understand what they're saying and whatnot, right? So it's kind of like learning that language, but no one really teaches you that sort of stuff. And one of my favorite books, I Will Teach You to Be Rich, Ramit Sethi actually came out with the 2.0. And for myself, I want to teach people how to like invest for educational purposes, or sorry, is it educational or entertainment purposes? So if you go Kick-Ass Investing, I literally teach you step by step how to set up your Roth IRA and build your first house or investment asset, right? So that you're going to be seeing more things about that later, but we're just finalizing a few things and we're off to the races, man. I'm pretty fucking excited for my first course and stuff like that. But to really teach people like, hey, how do you do all this sort of stuff? How do you set, what is a Roth IRA? What is a 401k, what is a 401k? What is a taxable account? Why do you even want a taxable account if you're getting taxed like both now and later, right? So all that stuff is so important. I truly believe in it. By the way, do you like this kind of financial live stream today? I didn't expect it to go this way, but I felt like since it's almost like tax time, like tomorrow is the 15th. Hold on for a second. Sorry, I had to grab a tissue. But do you guys kind of like this stream where I just talk about financial like literacy and stuff, and you guys can just ask me questions? If you guys do, I'll do more of these, man. But if you guys aren't interested, I won't waste my time on it. But I forgot who said it. Maybe it was AZ, but you guys were. I think AZ was talking about like how Joe actually just talked about me on his podcast with David So about his pharmacist friend who used to sleep on the fucking floor and lived hella frugal and shit. That was me. And I just took all my money and invested every single dime into it, right? And so right now I'm doing a different type of investing. Rather than investing all into market, I'm investing back into myself and through different business vehicles, right? I'm just learning. Very, very scary. I like, honestly, it feels like I'm investing into a market all over again. Because I feel like when you're new investing into a market, you have all these questions. You're just like, fuck, how do I know if this is good, even going to pay out in the long run or anything like that? But as long as you trust into a proven business model and proven system, then you're going to be you're going to be so much further than you were initially. If you look at things from a long-term perspective, you will win out as long as you have the proper strategy, right? So pay taxes like Jeff Bezos, 0%. I mean, technically you could like run your business at a loss every single year and get audited and shit. Like, yeah, but yeah, I mean, like that's part of having a really good team, right? And that's what Rich Dad Poor Dad always talks about, having a really good team of experts, right? So holy shit, is my memory like on my computer running out? Holy shit. Yeah, it is. Holy fuck. Okay, cool. AZ says, yeah, that was me. Lemon Doug says, hey, what's up? How y'all? What's going on, Lemon? I hope everything's going well for you. Yeah, man. So that's kind of like my life right now, like when it comes in terms of investing and all that sort of stuff, and my taxes. So yeah, man, it's been kind of like I think that's like something that a lot of entrepreneurs kind of forget about too, like sort of that, like we forget about some of those things, like the more technical aspects of taxes and all the unsexy shit of entrepreneurship. We forget how to manage our books and stuff like that. And I think like in order to be a good leader, you definitely need to know like some of the basics of it. And I'm still learning. I always like, dude, as much as I quote unquote know, I mean, I'm not the expert in it, and I realize that too. And I think it takes a little bit of humbling sometimes to just realize that, hey, you know what? I'm not the expert, but it's completely fine as well. Damn, I can't believe my freaking computer is like running out of memory and shit. Holy fuck. Yeah, but anyways, guys, send me some questions, man. Love to hear kind of like how your weekend is going. If you guys are at Coachella, if you guys are rushing to do your taxes like me, literally all I gotta do is whip out my credit card and just pay for the to send off all the documents and stuff like that. But I think definitely in the future I will have like a CPA or something like that to kind of help manage it, because it's really getting overwhelming at this point, and I don't think it's definitely not sustainable right now. Cool fact, I mentioned this before everyone was here, but I actually finished reading a book last night. Really, really great book that I highly recommend for anyone who wants to be a lot more productive. Let me grab it for a second. Literally, I just finished reading this book called Getting Things Done by David Allen. Really great book. It really teaches you how to be almost like a consultant, right? And to have like a purpose between everything we do. Sometimes in life, I've actually had this book on my bookshelf for a long time, but I never read it. But one of the real inspirations for me reading again was actually because of London Real. I'm a huge fan of London Real. It's something that my boy Zach actually kind of like led me to, and I really like his stuff a lot. He makes a lot of sense, dresses really well, does jujitsu and all that as well. So I thought that was really, really cool. But yeah, London Real has been I watched his interview and I really liked that interview, and I just started reading his book, reading David Allen's book, and really trying to dump all my ideas onto paper and have a good filing system. Because if you don't know me, I'm pretty unorganized a lot of time, and I know that's a huge weakness for me, having systems in place where I can just like have a clear mind and just be able to process things and just get things done very efficiently. Kind of reminds me a lot of the methods I learned from these two books as well. It's called How to Become a Straight A Student and How to Win at College, and how to project manage, right? And what's really interesting about David Allen's book is like, here's the thing, like if you know his story, he actually became a consultant for a little bit. But I have a really close friend, one of my best friends. He was a consultant for EY for many, many years. And honestly, like everything that he says, like pretty much is very congruent to this book. You need a strong why of why you're doing everything. What's the purpose of it? Are we just staying busy for the sake of staying busy, or are we what's the problem that we're trying to manage or fix right now? So I love it. AZ says, has your understanding of entrepreneurship, I hate the word entrepreneurship, by the way, but I just use it just to get a point across and just so that we can speak the same language. But I hate that word, by the way, because I mean, that's the same word that you use when somebody wants to start up a Chinese restaurant versus like an Amazon FBA business versus like a closing agency, marketing agency and all that. It's very, very different. Or like doing a brick and mortar. It's very different. But anyways, has it changed in the last year? Like it's not as sexy as it seems and you want to go back to a job kind of thing. No, like I'll tell you this. I guess like, yes, it has changed, but it's actually made me feel more confident that like I'm headed in the right direction. Once you have proof of concept and once you make your first buck, your first major buck, I'm not talking about like $2, like I'm talking about your first 1,000, right? That feels very, very fulfilling. And that has really told me like, hey, Kevin, you can do this. You just need to make this happen more often. And it's a proof of concept, right? Because of it, actually, I don't think I'd be a good employee ever again. There's a good chance. I put that out there, but I'm pretty damn sure I'd make a really good damn employee. But at the same time, I just love the freedom that comes with being an entrepreneur, living the life that you want to live. It comes with a lot of responsibility. A lot of people can't do it. And I kind of realized that, you know, when I first started advocating it, I thought everybody could do it. But I definitely know saying shit like that, like, hey, man, you can just do it with hard work. It takes a lot more than hard work, man. I don't even like, dude, I've been on this kind of grind for a long time and try to study and wait for the perfect time. And I honestly, like, I see the big difference between the talkers and the doers, right? You gotta realize when I talk to people on the phone about like certain, like when I'm closing, I talk to the people who want a lot of different things. But you know what the difference is between the people who want and actually do, like, and who are actually successful is because they actually do it, right? They're not all fucking talk. Their actions are in alignment of what comes out of their fucking mouth, you know? And so many times we make poor agreements with ourselves. Like, yeah, let's do it. Like, blah, blah, blah. Everything makes sense, but I'm scared. Guess what? Everybody is scared, man. Like, it's not an easy journey. Things get very, very scary. Like for me too, man. I get it. I know what it's like to have skin in the game, but what's going to happen if you don't do anything? What's going to happen if you don't do anything? What's the cost of inaction? People never really think about that, and they don't think that they're already losing. Like, by not investing into, like, for example, even as simple stuff, like by not investing into market, how much are you leaving on the table and how much are you losing? You're losing 4%, 2 to 4% each and every year due to inflation, right? People never think about that, right? So it's stuff like that. I definitely don't feel like entrepreneurship is for everyone. But yeah, AZ says, I love that books, baskets. I actually just bought a few like paper trays and stuff like that. So yeah, man. High Funk says, what up? How important would you say discipline, time management is? Like, Joe doesn't seem like either, but obviously he's doing well. I think it's extremely important, especially it depends what business model you want, but I think it's extremely important because here's the thing, like when you like, and I'll tell you this, I've lived with Joe personally. Joe is actually very, very organized, and I think his like online persona is very different from his real life persona too. Like, not in a bad way. I think he's actually a lot more mature, but he's very entertaining too. So he's trying to balance that. I totally get it. But Joe is actually very, very disciplined. And, like he has his own system. It's not like organized. Like to me, like if I use Joe's system, I'd be like, what the fuck is happening everywhere? Like I've tried it. Like he has notepads and stuff like that. And all these doc files with all his ideas. That's his intake system for me. That doesn't work for me. But he's actually pretty organized, right? But I would say discipline and time management is everything. Even when you don't feel like doing something, do you still do it? Hell yeah, you need to. Because sometimes the truth is, like, I'll be honest, the truth was today, I honestly didn't feel like going on a call with someone. But since I made an agreement with my client that I would be there when he needed it, I was there, even though I didn't feel like it. And that's part of like adulting too. There's a lot of ups and there's a lot of downs, but the thing is just like I feel so much more energetic. I feel so much more. I look forward to every single day to wake up and just really kick ass at life, man, because I realize that destiny is in my own fucking hands, right? Whether you believe in self-determination or not, like I believe in it. And I believe that you have the ability to create your own future, and without like discipline, like Jocko Willink, he always says discipline equals freedom, man. And I just totally vibe with that because the highest performing people in the world, they all have morning rituals. They all have some sort of like thing that they try to get done, their own system, right? And it's really trying to understand oneself, to mastering oneself to really optimize the best system for you. There's actually a great book. Dude, I should just do a book show, bro. Like seriously, hold on, let me grab it. It's called Daily Rituals by Mason Curry. Really great book. It's about different people's morning rituals every single day. It goes over these great people. How did their day look like? Like, for example, Sigmund Freud, right? He's a psychologist, and it just talks about like, hey, Freud's long work days were mitigated by two luxuries. First, there was his beloved cigars, which he smoked continuously, going through at least 20 a day from his mid-20s toward the near end of his life, despite several warnings. He did not give a fuck, pretty much. And it looks like the second thing is family at annual 3-month summer vacation. So when you look at people's like histories or routines, you kind of get in their mindset and you kind of better understand them. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah, I think it's really, really important. And yeah, man. And here's the thing, like I said, Joe, he is always kind of like he's a lot more intelligent than he seems like on camera, man. You can hear it more in the long form podcasts and stuff too, but he's a really smart guy. I'm actually trying to reach out to him for his birthday and stuff. Like I want to take him out to lunch and all that, but we'll see. He said that he's down, so I'm going to be meeting up with him soon. Even though like you said, you got to adult, and like Jocko says, you got to play the game. And that's absolute truth, AZ. Like at the end of the day, like, even though you might not feel like doing something, you still gotta show up every single time. Like, honestly, I would love just to eat fucking ice cream and just watch Pornhub all fucking day, but at the end of the day, that's not gonna help my family. That's not gonna help you guys. That's not gonna help anyone in my life, right? It's really taking action and just try to figure out ways to make more income, or take like, or invest in myself, or find different like vehicles that will get me to point A to point B, and help solve some of the problems and just add more value to the world, right? I think it's like, I don't want to be that selfish dude that just fucking jerks off and watch Pornhub all day, man. That's like, I used to do that, not ice cream, but like I used to do that when I was a lot younger, like maybe in my 20s. I literally just watched Degrassi, fuck all day, and just eat junk all the time and not work out or do anything. And I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't adding much value to people, man. So that's why when people say like, how are you so disciplined now? And I don't think I'm like at top level discipline. Like, I'm pretty good. I'm getting better each and every time. And because I look at people like Jocko, right? And he's up at 4 something every single morning, kicking fucking ass, man. And I'm just like, what am I doing? What can I do? Like, I'm not Jocko. Me and Jocko, we don't look at, well, we have the same bald head, but he, like, I'm AZM, bro. Like, he was a Navy SEAL. He did so much, right? But what can I take from his life and apply it to mine? And the number one thing for a lot of people is just wake up earlier, man. Just get out of bed and just go work out. Maybe it's that one thing. And maybe working out seems like a very, very selfish thing, but guess what? It puts you in a positive mindset. And when you're in a positive mindset, how do you think your day is going to look when you talk to different people? When you talk to your different clients, how is that going to look? Right? So, yeah, man. AZ was long at my jerking off and ice cream analogy, but it's true, right? And I think, like, guess what? It's those memories as a non-productive college student, someone who was like almost not failing out of school completely, but I wasn't doing so hot, man. Like, I really wasn't doing hot as a student, and I was on academic warning and not probation, but academic warning at least, right? So yeah, man, I've been there. I know what it's like to be super, super unproductive. I know what it's like to be like hyper productive too, because like I've had those moments where I've just been at it up. Right now I'm kind of like in the middle. So how's my high ticket closing agency? Actually, it's going really well, really, really well. I mean, there's always room to get better, right? What I've realized was that I set this goal of having 5 clients, but at the end of the day, you don't need 5 clients. You just need 1 or 2 really solid clients. So I've dropped a lot. Like, a lot of my clients kind of were like, hey, Kevin, this isn't the right time. It takes a lot more work, right? And so some of my clients dropped off, but the ones that I have kept, we're in it for long term. I have no doubt that we're going to deliver results and really do great things. But my agency is going pretty well. We're about to scale up this offer. I have one main offer that I'm spending a lot of my time on, and I have another offer that like it's for a digital marketing agency, because like I think that plays to my strength. I believe in digital marketing. I believe in everything in the online world. I believe that, at the end of the day, a lot of high tickets, right? High ticket programs, there's a shelf life for a lot of them, right? No launch lasts forever, right? And unless you continuously update your offer, it's not going anywhere. But like for services, like I like services a lot because I believe in them, because with digital marketing, things are always going to change. You go from platform to platform, and as a digital marketer, you need to be updated with those trends and apply those to your clients and help them reach those goals. I think a lot of time businesses actually fuck up by not viewing their digital marketer as a long-term asset to their business, right? Just like accounting or anything like that. They save you so much time. You use their expertise to kind of, like, I love marketing in general. That is like my thing. I love sales too, but I would say like I'm more into marketing more, actually. Like, if I were to be completely honest with you, the only reason why I don't run a marketing agency or copywriting agency is because I don't like execution. It's not like I don't like execution, but I guess for me, like, I have really good friends who are really great at that, and why not help support their business in other ways? And plus I don't like running campaigns, if that makes sense, right? High Funk says, what you're saying is great advice. I need to tune in more often. For sure, man. I mean, if there's certain topics that you want me to talk about, because I'll be honest, like sometimes I get like I have kind of like a shit day, right? When it comes to live streaming, right? And I don't really know what to talk about. I'll be very transparent with you guys. Sometimes I don't even know what to talk about. I don't know. Like today, I had no idea what I want to talk about, but I just kind of like riff based off what you guys say and all that sort of stuff. So I'm glad to hear that this was very helpful. If you can help me out, let me know what was very like so far what I'm saying right now. What has been the most helpful type of thing that I've mentioned so far? I'd love to hear that. Hear more about like what you want to hear more about. What kind of advice do you want, right? But I just try to keep things real and just try to be very honest about my experiences, man. And to go back to the high ticket closing agency, I've been at this almost for like a year now, and I think it's an injustice to really say that, hey, it's easy to have your own agency. It's easy to have your own high ticket closing agency, because absolutely 90% of the people will absolutely fail in high ticket closing, right? And that's why I never say, hey, do it just for the money, do it for the income. No, really stop and focus and really think, okay, like I think it's a better personal development tool than actual vehicle. Because here's the thing, it's really, really hard. No one, if people were to sell high ticket closing as it's really, really like hard, no one would ever buy. Let's be honest. And I don't think that's Dan's fault either. It's just the nature of the business, because you gotta realize you're going from a W-2 to a 1099, which is basically starting your own business at this point. You're representing your own business at that point, right? A lot of people are not ready for the jump. There's a lot of people who are not resourceful. They will not figure shit out. There's a lot of people who just throw their hands in the air and just like fucking give up, and it's just like, if you're gonna go in with that mentality and not figure shit out, then this is not the career for you, or this is not the field you should go into. And entrepreneurship is not for you just in general. Like, honestly, stop lying to yourself. You're probably going to absolutely fail. And I don't say that just to discourage people, but I do that because I actually care about people, and I want people to know the absolute truth about entrepreneurship. It can be really, really tough, really hard. It's going to be hard on your relationships. It's going to be hard on your family. It's going to be hard on your wallet, because here's the thing, every business, right? You're going to have to invest. If you want to scale, you're going to have to invest in people, and there's always going to be that dip. And that dip, when you put up some initial like setback, it makes people very uncomfortable. And if you're not comfortable with that, then sorry, not for you, man. And it's not a bad thing if it's not for you. At least you know the type of person you are, and you can stop lying to yourself and just move on with something else that you really, really want to do. And it might not be forever. It just might be this time. Does that mean anything? Being disciplined in adulting, love it. So you're kind of interested in being disciplined in adulting up. Do you plan out a day, week, month in advance? What's your system for staying on track? Actually, that's the reason why I wanted to I got this book, because there's several systems I've used. I use everything from like the Kanban method to manage my specific projects, but I also like to set quarterly goals. And the more advanced I get, I know I'm going to have to look beyond 90 days. But I've found like what was most helpful for me is just looking out 90 days and reverse engineering what I need to do on a daily basis and having like a power list, right? I forget, was it Dean Graziosi or something like that talks about it. I found out about the whole like power list through my friend Joe Villagracia on YouTube and stuff like that. He's a pretty good friend. He's the owner of Live Rich and stuff like that. Really great branding, man. But that's kind of like where I sort of got that idea, and really learning how to be like almost a consultant to myself, because I do it on my clients all the time. Thank God for my friend Tom, man. Like, he was the one that really saved my life, like when it comes to dealing with clients, because I never dealt with a client before, right? And I think that's the thing. Sometimes you just got to leverage other people's strengths and just learn directly under them. So now I know how to lay out a roadmap of like, okay, what are my milestones for month 1, month 2, 90 days? Where do I want to be? Why do I want this? What's the purpose of this? What problem am I solving by accomplishing this goal? Right? Being very systemized, thinking like that, and try and make the best like stretch goal, and writing the smart goals that will get you there, right? And reverse engineering. That's what I like to do. So like, for example, I wrote $30,000 a month, right? Q1. I didn't hit it, by the way. Wasn't even close. Wasn't even close. But I want to make 30K per month. What are the steps I need to do? All right. I need to be making at least, I guess like if I want to be making $30,000 a month, let's break that down. How many clients would I need? How much revenue would they need to be generating if I were to charge 20% commission on top of that? That's the vehicle I'm going, right? And so like if I want to make 30,000, I would need to make sure that I find a client that makes at least $150,000 in revenue per month, right? If I want to be making 30,000 myself. And so I'm like, okay, well, what happens if I can't find that one client, or where do I go for that one client? And then you just work backwards, right? And then it comes to an issue like, where do I look for clients? Do I go look for ads? Do I go to events? Do I do that? And everything, like you just break things down in reverse order. And I think that's one of the best ways. And that will tell you like, and then you'll have a good feel of how long is this really going to take, right? So I think like for us, for my team, I planned out like that we had to do 760 outreaches within like a really short amount of time. And still we did not hit our goal, right? It wasn't, and I think like whether you hit your goal or not, sometimes you just really learn like, some of the intricacies of like the business too. Like I didn't foresee that there would be so many businesses that are not ready for closing. I didn't foresee, I always knew kind of in the back of my head that closing was so contingent on marketing. I didn't know how to kind of scope out a good marketing from shitty marketing, even though I knew marketing, right? I didn't think about that, and I didn't put focus on that. But now like I qualify hard for a good reason, because I've been on so many offers at this point where, you know, I did study somebody's offer, right? But maybe they're not generating sales. Maybe they don't have proof of concept. Maybe they're missing some key things in the marketing that I didn't really see. Because here's the thing, I was spending a lot of time trying to make these offers work when they were just sinking ships already, right? You like, I just don't have the time for that, you know? So, do you believe in to-do lists? I believe in kind of, what I do believe is, I guess like writing everything down, journaling and stuff like that. I think that is a really, like that's good to kind of get everything out of your brain. I am a believer in that. As far as to-do lists, I think oftentimes we tend to overestimate how much we can do in one day, and we underestimate what we can do in the long term of things. So that's why I like to set stretch goals and kind of reverse engineer it. And I learned a lot of it through like my friend Tom, because he was a consultant. And then I've learned a lot through different books. And I've learned a lot through my friend Rich as well. Not Joey Rich, but Rich and Niche, like marketing. He's one of my really good friends, works with a lot of clients. And I've also learned from Scott Olsfer too, because he talks a lot about goal setting and stuff, and setting bigger and bigger goals. Like I think that's I think that's kind of like what I've been trying to do, and just try and find the ultimate system for myself. So I just try and model after really great systems like this and just try it. I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm willing to give it a try and execute it, right? And I think that's the difference between Kevin a year ago and Kevin today, is because I don't think about shit. Like, I think about shit like on a very high level, but I also know that if I want to make things work out, I just need to take action and just try to do it. So I literally last night, I spent like an hour maybe 2 hours reading this book and try to understand the general concept of it, and ordered everything that I needed. I went to Costco, bought a huge, what do they call it? A ream of paper, like office paper. I bought like a whole bunch. I'm just gonna dump my brain for the next day tomorrow after I submit my taxes. Paul Tran says tax season sucks. Welcome to, yeah, I know, especially when you're W2 and I know you're working right now, Paul, and you also have like side income from your brand deals and your YouTube channel and stuff. So yeah, man, kind of sucks, but at least you can at least we, you know what, it kind of sucks, but it sucks less than it did like maybe 10 or 20 years ago, back when we didn't have any like not social media, but back when we didn't have like all these apps on our phones and shit. Do you have any experience in dealing with a tyrannical boss? Jocko says you just gotta play the game, but sometimes you want to tell your boss off, you know? So yeah, I do. I guess like Jocko is right. You gotta play the game somewhat too, but you gotta, I think like a lot of time, especially like I learned it through closing, right? And I learned it from this guy named David Brownlee. He's a customer service guy, and you gotta think like, who are the two clients that you have? Like, who are the two people are you serving? Like, let's pretend if you're a pharmacist, right? You're serving your patients and you're serving your supervisor. Those are two patient. Like sometimes people forget that's the second customer. You're higher up. One thing I always like saying, hey, I wish I could do this, but what I can do is why, and really putting your foot down. Or if you want a more softer approach, which I recommend actually instead, is like, okay, so what it sounds like to me, sound is very important. What it sounds like to me is that you want me to do X, Y, and Z. Okay, I understand. But try to understand from my point of view right now, or try to understand my situation. Currently, I have X, Y, and Z, and I'm having trouble executing already. You know, like try and use something called tactical empathy to make them try to understand your side of the flip side. And if they don't understand, they're a really shitty manager at that point, right? And worst case scenario, you just ask them, okay, if you're in my position, what would you exactly do? Like, because I'm stuck, I'm confused. Help me understand like what you want me to do. Help clarify what can I do, right? With the available resources. If you're me, what would you do in my shoes, right? Throwing it back at them. The book The book Never Split the Difference talks about this. Really, really great book. It's about negotiation. Guaranteed if you can negotiate with a terrorist, you can negotiate with your boss, and just really communicating. It's honestly, at the end of the day, it's really about just honest communication with everything. So yes, I have dealt with a tyrannical boss. In my past, I just used to suck it up all the time. So Paul Tran says to-do lists help me out a lot. So yeah, man. It helps a lot of people, man. And you just gotta find what works for you. I mean, I keep a small like waterproof notebook. It's almost like a field note, and I just write whatever's on my mind sometimes, like if I'm out, and that's how I intake things, and I'll process it later, right? But yeah, man. Like I'm not the best when it comes to organization. I actually that's why I actually have a channel manager. I'm not sure if you're watching this, Noah. Noah, if you're watching this, please comment. But I actually have a channel manager kind of implementing these things for me as well, right? So yeah, man, like I'm still figuring this shit out too. I'm not the expert, man, but thanks for like asking, man. Really appreciate it. All right, it's almost been an hour. So guys, do you have any like questions for me right now? Is there anything that you really want to know before I sign off? Because it's almost been an hour. Need to make sure to eat and stuff and take care of my week and actually submit everything. But yeah, guys, I would love to help you guys out before I take off. But anyways, as far as this week, man, I think some of the things that I'm gonna do is just submit my taxes. That's like really, really important. I can't forget that. Probably gonna submit it after this stream. Second thing I'm gonna do is continue serving my client this week and try improve an offer. I'm jumping on a new client as well this week. So I just really, really want to deliver and try to onboard that as quickly as possible. and work on my high ticket offer and work on my investment course. That's what I have planned this week. I'm going to finish up my investment, like the course and all that. It's all shot, but it's really the making sure that, hey, all the emails are in place and all that sort of stuff, and breaking down logistical parts and stuff, and really like planning some of the marketing behind it, right? So doing that. There's a lot on my plate, man. Got a lot of YouTube videos to shoot and shit and edit and all that, which I'm trying to outsource right now. If you can't tell, I'm pretty overwhelmed, man. And I gotta send money over to Dan Pena to join his QLA seminar, man, in December. I missed the November one because I was transferring money. But I'm going through a lot, man. And this is part of being an entrepreneur. I thrive on like the fucking I thrive out drinking out of the fire hose, man. It's the life I chose, and I don't regret it. I love every single aspect of it. It's really fun, especially when you're young, man. Like you gotta go. Like, not for everyone, man. Some people can't deal with the insecurity, but I think for me nowadays, I'm more flexible with like kind of dealing with the uncertainties of life and how to balance that. And I think I'm becoming a more resilient human being. If anything, like even if I decide, hopefully I don't ever want to go back to a 9 to 5, but if it does happen, honestly, like I think the one thing I'll learn is that I'm a more resilient human being, you know, and yeah. And because of that, that's why I don't ever think I'm going to go back to a 9 to 5. It's just like, it's just a lose-lose situation. I don't want to be trading time in for money anymore. I want to be creating assets with people. I want to be creating, like, if I do trade time, I want to be creating FU money that will be going back into my long-term assets as well, right? So Snapchat video says, are you still high ticket closer? Are you happy with the income? I would say, as I do run a high ticket closing agency, I am a high ticket closer. I am a closer. Am I happy with the income? Yeah, like when it rains, when you dial in on an offer, I'll tell you this shit, man. Like, dude, it is one of the best feelings of your life because every single offer is different, right? There's different intricacies of every single offer. So you got to get used to it, just like marketing, right? But when you unlock the key, man, holy fuck, it's like a money printer, man. It's like really crazy. So I just got to that. I don't think I've gotten to that stage yet. I think I'm like one level below, and I've been starting to pull in sales almost like very, very consistently. And we'll see how well this current offer goes. So I'm building out another offer like with another client, and I'm building out my own high ticket as well. So I'm just trying to see like what the best course of action is right now. And that's why I kind of turned to this book, because I have so many things on my plate. What is the biggest priority right now for me and whatnot? So I want to make sure that I'm allocating enough for money now and money later, like that time thing. But yeah, I'm pretty happy so far, right? But am I the happiest? Am I making like crazy fuck you money? Check in with me by probably like maybe at the end of the month. I'm pretty sure like the potential for fuck you money is really, 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 really there. I know that I need to make 1,800 per day for fuck you money. So definitely can do that. Do you prefer to work at home? I love your questions, by the way, AZ. Like seriously, your questions are really dope. Like, because dude, that's freaking awesome, man. I prefer to actually work mostly outside. I don't like working at home because this is where I sleep. This is where I rest. So I like separation of work and play. And if I were to get a bigger apartment, I would definitely like get a bigger place and have like at least a 2-bedroom. One would be like a home office or a YouTube studio where I can shoot. The other one where I'd ice cream and Pornhub. Yeah. Kevin, can you do a 30-day challenge of some sort so we can do it with you? Like keto, running, or whatever. Yeah, for sure, dude. Yeah, like, dude, let me ask you, AZ. I'm actually screenshotting your comments and stuff too, man. I love like your ideas. By the way, like really, really solid ideas. If I were to do a 30-day challenge, what would you want to see in that 30-day challenge? Maybe I'll do a keto one because I've been kind of falling off the boat for that. I've been like really yeah, man, not sticking to keto, like breaking it, like life has just been happening and it's not a good excuse, man. So if I want to be high performance, I gotta make sure I eat right and do all that. Let me know. Like I would even like a gallon of water a day challenge or some shit like that. I don't know. I would be down open for it. And I'll probably talk to my channel manager about like different ideas and kind of some of the trends on YouTube. Paul Tran says, "You got this, Kevin." Hey, Paul, I would love to have you on. Paul, remind me to contact you later. I want you on my podcast, man. I would I know last time we did Brian, me, and you, but let's do a podcast between me and you, man, and just really talk. If you do 9 to 5, that's not a fail. You tried, no regrets, and try again. Yeah, Paul. Unfortunately for me, man, like I was talking about it earlier, and I was just like, man, I know it's not a fail, but for me, like honestly, it's just something I really, 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 really don't want to do. It's like really last resort, and maybe I'm over dramatizing it a little bit because I am quite expressive, but yeah, man, I just don't want to go back to a 9 to 5. I know not all 9 to 5s are the same, but I just don't. I can't do it, man. Like I'd rather like fucking be homeless and be like live in Thailand or some shit like that than to go back to a 9 to 5 again ever, right? Snapchat video say, "Can you go live more often, please?" Sure. Like I don't mind what times, like if I were to do more live streams, I would only do live streams if it makes sense, right? If people are like coming on to the live streams and stuff, maybe I'll do like a 30-day live stream type of thing and kind of like break that down. I would be open to that, just but I would need to make sure that people actually show up to it, right? Um let's see, can you work yourself? Can you work as a high ticket closer by yourself, or do you need a team? You can definitely do it by yourself. There's nothing there's nothing stopping you from, like, you don't need a team. You just need to find a client. That's all that makes you a high ticket closer at the end of the day. You just need to find a client, because at the end of the day, you are 1099. You're an independent contractor if you're in the US, right? So you just need a client to be a high ticket closer. So you don't need a team. I like having a team just because I don't like being alone on an offer, because I like to bounce ideas back and really test multiple things at the same time and see what's working and see what's not. Right now we have about 4 closers on my team on this one offer, and it's really, really great. We just meet up every single week and we just talk about, hey, what's working, what's not working. This is work, like what's our experience right now. So I think it'd be really cool. Keto would be cool. See what you cook up and stuff. I think I saw that in your earlier videos. Yeah, by the way, I'm not really much of a good chef or cooking type of person, so yeah, man, if you think that that'd be cool, I'm open to it. Or waking up at 4:30 a.m. like Jocko, that'd be crazy. Lol. So all right, maybe I could do that. That's definitely doable. I don't have a problem doing that at all. I'd be very, very open to that. Yeah, man, cool, awesome. I think everything's kind of slowing down right now. It looks like we got 4 people left in the stream. Probably everyone's at Coachella and shit. But guys, I just wanted to thank you guys for just tuning in today, man. Really appreciate it. I will consider doing more streams. I will talk to my channel manager about kind of like the different times we can do streams and stuff like that. But yeah, man, as long as it makes sense, as long as you guys show up, like that's all I care about. I really want to grow this channel. I don't mind doing live streams and investing more time, but there are a lot of things on my plate too that I want to make sure that it's going to be worth my time and stuff. But I want to create more kick-ass content for you guys. I've been experimenting with different things. Some things have been panning out, some things have not. But yeah, man. Anyways, have a great weekend, or have a great week, guys. If I don't talk to you, kill it this week, and I will talk to you later. And AZ says, thanks for wisdom, man. Appreciate it, homie. Like A1 since day one, bro. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'll talk to you guys later. Take care.